Would you believe a football player could be a homecoming queen? Well, one of these three young women is. Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Amy Cook.
Number 2.
My name is Amy Cook.
Number 3.
My name is Amy Cook.
Only one of these people is the real Amy Cook, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now let's meet our panel. Actor and raconteur, Orson Bean. Actress and cartoon voice, Dana Hill. From Santa Barbara, soap opera star, Timothy Gibbs. And to tell the truth's very own, Kitty Carlisle. Here's the host of To Tell the Truth, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Orson. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning and welcome to our program. Good morning, panelists.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A warm welcome to Timothy. Right now, I want to tell our viewers that later on in the show, I'll be telling you how you can win a dinner date with Timothy Gibbs, one of the stars of Santa Barbara, or one of these 4 other fabulous NBC daytime soap opera stars. All you have to do is get your pencil and paper ready, and I'll give you the rules and the details a little later on. Now let's get to our first story, panelists. I, Amy Cook, am the only girl on my high school football team. The most exciting night of my life occurred at a football game last November. I tucked my hair into my helmet and took my normal position on the field. But at halftime, instead of listening to the coach's pep talk, I made a mad dash under the bleachers and, with the help of my mother, changed into a gown, put on some makeup, and ran a brush through my hair. I then rushed back to the 50-yard line to vie for the title of homecoming queen. And to my amazement, I won. But there was no time to celebrate. I rushed back to my makeshift dressing room, took off my dress, put back on my uniform and my helmet. And as the game progressed, our team scored, and I was called on to kick the point after touchdown. For the second time that night, I wound up being a winner. Signed, Amy Cook. We'll find out more about this young queen of the gridiron right after this. These 3 lovely young ladies all claim to be a football star and a homecoming queen. Kitty, we'll start the questioning with you.
Well, number 1, which was more fun, kicking the point or being the homecoming queen?
I like playing football, and that was a great honor to be homecoming queen, so I like them both equally.
Thank you. Number 2, you said you tucked your hair under your helmet. Have you cut your hair off since then?
Yeah, that night it was too much putting it all under the helmet. So after that, I didn't have to save it for the
Okay. Number 3, how many contestants were there in the homecoming queen?
There were 6 of us, and we were all from the senior class.
And you're all, I see.
Let's now go to our guest, Timothy.
Okay, number 2. Was there a problem with you being attracted to any of the boys on your team?
Actually, yeah. My boyfriend he plays the tight end.
How about you, number 3? Do you wear jewelry when you play?
Oh, no, you're not allowed to.
And number 1, same question. Do you were you attracted to any of the boys on your football team?
Yes, my boyfriend's on the team.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to fight for the same position.
Dana?
Number 1, what style of kicking do you use?
I use soccer style.
Okay, and number 2, what's the longest field goal you ever kicked?
About 35, 37.
And number 3, how far behind the goal line are the uprights?
10 yards.
Okay, and number 2, how many players are on the whole high school team?
About, I guess, 19.
Okay.
All right, Orson.
God, I feel
You're
so
fascinating.
inadequate sitting next to this.
Dana's on a roll. Would you like to yield your time to Dana?
No,
as they do
I
in
don't
the
feel
Senate?
that inadequate.
All right.
Number 3, are you attracted to a tight end, too? Well, 1 and 2 said their boyfriends.
You don't have to respond to that question. I'll bail you out.
Well, you look beautiful. I don't know if you can play football or not. Number 1, how did they select? Was it by applause? How did they select the homecoming queen?
The students at school vote for the homecoming.
I see. So number 2 now, when you rushed back, did you have time to take a shower when you put the dress on? Or
No.
No?
No, I just rushed back there, put on some makeup, kind of like ran a brush through my hair just like I said.
And number 2, were you really surprised to win that?
Yes. There was...
Oh, time's up. All right, time for our panelists to vote for the young lady they feel is the football star and the homecoming queen. Who is it? Is it number 1, who's dressed up like the homecoming queen? Number 2, who's in her football garb? Or number 3, a possible homecoming queen also? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that our team of challengers will receive $500 for each incorrect vote with a minimum guarantee of $1,000. And if our panel is fooled completely, then the team will receive $3,000. Kitty, for whom did you vote?
Well, they're good, and I'm not an expert in football. Number 3 seems awfully small to be a football player, but she seemed kind of tough, so I voted for her.
All righty. Now let's go to Timothy.
Boy, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. They answered the questions right on the money, so I had to go with my instincts, and that took me to number 2.
Number 2. Dana.
They all answered questions well. It's a soccer-style kicker, 10 yards behind. But number 85, see, that's an awfully high number to wear when you're a kicker. It's usually 1 through 8, so I went with number 1.
Usually 1 through 8?
Yeah, you know, kickers like Gary Premian wore number 1. You know, kickers usually wear the lowercase numbers. Tight ends and linebackers and stuff wear number 85.
Mm-hmm. Orson is mesmerized by your explanation. He was dazzled by your questions. Now he's mesmerized by your explanation.
This is like Iraqi military tactics to me. I don't understand any of it. I don't know. I voted for number 2.
All right. Let's review the voting. 1 vote for number 1, 2 votes for number 2, and 1 vote for number 3. Time now to find out who the real queen of football is. Will the real Amy Cook please stand up? It is number 1. We'll get back to you in a second. Number 2, who are you and what do you do?
My name's Georgiana Benoni, and I'm a student at Glendale Community College, and I work part-time at a Los Angeles radio station.
Are you a big football fan?
No, I just dated a couple kickers.
I see. How do you feel wearing those lineman's pads?
It's really interesting. Kind of lumpy, you know?
Kind of lumpy. And in all the wrong places.
Yeah.
Let's find out about number 3 now. Who are you, young lady?
Hi, my name's Tina Noriega, and I'm a sophomore at Maricosta High School, and I enjoy tap, jazz, and ballet.
All righty. There were 3 incorrect votes at $500 apiece, and that means the team will receive $1,500. Amy, let's take a look at the photograph you brought along with you today, and perhaps you can tell us what we have here.
This is where my father escorted me at halftime to be crowned homecoming queen.
Now, what's the longest field goal you ever kicked?
In practice, 48.
48 yards?
Practice.
Now, Kitty asked a very good question. She was commenting on how small some of you appear to be. How much do you weigh?
Oh.
It's an easy question for somebody your age. When you get older, you can worry about it.
Oh, my gosh, I'm sworn to tell the truth, so... Oh, my...
How much?
125.
125, and you can kick a 48-yard field goal? Well, congratulations to you. And congratulations on your honor also. And thank you all for being here on To Tell the Truth. We'll be back with a man who heads a chapter of the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance right after this. Now, let's meet our next group of challengers.
Number 1, what is your name, please?
My name is Adam Binns.
Number 2.
My name is Adam Binns.
Number 3.
My name is Adam Binns.
And here is his story. I, Adam Binns, am attracted to chubby women and am proud of it. As president of a chapter of the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, I am fighting for the rights of more than 30 million Americans who are overweight. I've been attracted to plump women ever since I was in junior high school. People who would never dream of making derogatory remarks about race or religion feel overweight people and those who love them are fair game. But the tide might be turning. Our lobbying efforts have even convinced a greeting card company to stop stereotyping fat people. And television has begun presenting a more positive image of people who are not skin and bones. But until more men like myself come out of the closet and admit their fondness for the big and the beautiful, we will never learn that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Signed, Adam Binns. Orson, we'll start the questioning with you.
Well, number 2, I would think that from a selfish point of view, you're better off leaving attitudes the way they are than you'll have 15 fat dames all to yourself.
Well, yeah, but I want heavy women to feel better about themselves.
Number 3, I agree with that. I mean, I happen to think that a heavy-set dame is beautiful if she thinks she's beautiful. Isn't that the main thing, thinking you're beautiful?
Well, it's not exactly thinking beautiful, but self-esteem in general. Physical beauty certainly enters into it.
Number 1, what do you think of the Fox series Babes?
As long as they present it in a good light and let the...
Which they do, don't they?
They do. I don't mind. There's nothing wrong with being fat.
I think they're great looking, those 3.
All right, Dana.
Number 3, who are the biggest offenders of stereotyping? You say here. What?
It seems to be the corporate world in general. There's a great problem with job placement for the overweight.
Okay, number 2, are you married?
No, I'm not.
You are not. Number 1, who is the national spokesperson for your organization?
Well, there are a lot of chapters around. Sally Smith is the person in charge. She heads the main chapter, which is in...
And number 2, which chapter do you head?
San Diego.
And number 3, how many chapters are there?
Oh, no time for that. Let's go to Timothy.
Number 1, is there an event that you put on or somebody you know puts on where fat people are allowed to get together and meet with men such as yourself or women?
Well, NAFA's open to membership for anyone, so we sponsor picnics, parties, gatherings, lots of things.
Number 2, do you do promotional work promoting women to be overweight? Do you promote that?
No, just to accept yourself and just be happy.
Number 3, in junior high school, how did you discover that you were attracted to overweight?
I had a very close friendship with one girl who was overweight, and I just came to realize that it was her overweightness that formed the main basis of my attraction. I mean, she had many other attributes, but it was her overweightness. And then I discovered I found all overweight women attractive.
Number 1 of you...
Most interesting. Kitty, over to you.
Number 1, what's the difference between being fat and being obese?
I think it's an attitude. Being fat is not bad. Being obese is not bad. They're both the same. It's the attitude more than anything else.
Number 2, what country prizes overweight ladies?
Well, Tonga Islands, Samoans, the old Hawaiians did, too.
Number 3, what about the Turks?
The Turks, I don't know about.
You don't know about the Turks. Number...
And on that note, we will call upon our panelists to cast their vote for the gentleman they feel is the pro-hefty person. Is it number 1, number 2, or number 3? Orson?
Yeah, well, I've seen a few fat Tongans in my day. Fat Turk, I don't know. I voted for number 1. I think his eyes lit up nicely when he was talking about heavy-set dames.
All right, Dana.
It was tough. They were all absolutely wonderful, but number 2 seemed purposeful in his answers, and he wanted to get his point across to us. So I went with number 2.
Timothy?
Well, I first thought number 2, but I've decided to go with number 1. As Orson said, something in his eyes.
Something in his eyes. Kitty?
Well, you know, it's funny. Most overweight ladies have very skinny husbands, and they're all skinny. It could be any one of them. But number 1 said there was no difference between being obese and being fat. So he really likes fat people. So I voted for him.
I think it's true, though, that it is in the attitude. And isn't it strange that when we say fat, we are more embarrassed saying that word than we are if we say this person is obese. Let's review the voting. We have 3 votes in then for number 1, 1 for number 2, and no votes for number 3. So let's find out who the real defender of these Rubenesque women is. Will the real Adam Binns please stand up? Was it in the eyes? No, it wasn't. It is number 2. How many members in these different organizations, these different chapters around the country?
It was about 2,000 nationwide.
2,000 nationwide. And you, as you pointed out, I believe, in response to one of the questions, you're not encouraging women to become obese. You're just saying be satisfied with who you are and what you are, right?
Oh, yeah. Most attempts at dieting, most people gain back the weight within 3 years. And so it's not very effective or good for your heart to keep losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. Staying at a stable weight, the medical people say, is more healthy. And just take care of yourself and exercise.
Okay. Good for you. Now let's meet the imposters. 3 votes for you. Number 1, who are you, sir? It was in your eyes, of course.
My name is Raymond Karolitz. I'm a teacher, and I've just written a book entitled Understanding the SAT.
in 10 easy lessons.
Oh, that's going to be a big seller. Number 3, tell me about yourself.
My name is Tom Orr, and I'm a health food distributor.
Good for you. 3 incorrect votes, gentlemen, at $500 each. That means the team will receive $1,500. Thank you so much for being with us today on To Tell the Truth. When we come back, we'll be playing one-on-one with somebody from our studio audience. So please, stay right where you are. Looks like we've got a lady in red to play one-on-one. Burton, who is she and where is she from?
Well, Alex, today we have Cindy Vanderpool from Manassas, Virginia.
Hi,
Welcome,
Alex.
Cindy.
Thank you.
And good luck as you play one-on-one. Let me introduce a gentleman who has 2 stories to tell. Folks, please welcome Cecil Underwood. Cindy, Cecil's going to tell us 2 stories. You spot the true story, and you'll win $500 in cash. Mr. Underwood, your first story, please.
I am known as the Flying Gourmet. I critique meals served on airlines.
That sounds like a good job. Let's listen to story number 2, however.
When I was governor of West Virginia, I was the very first guest on To Tell the Truth.
I see. All right, panelists, you get to ask 1 question on each subject. First of all, the Flying Gourmet. Kitty.
Mr. Underwood, which is better, to take potluck with the airline meal or order a special one?
If you can get by with it, order a special one.
All right, Timothy.
Sir, what's the most popular beef, chicken, or fish on the airlines?
The most popular one these days is fish.
Dana.
Who serves the best airline food?
By my rating, British Airways. They have a phenomenal filet mignon.
Orson.
Is it worth paying the extra couple of $1,000 to eat the food in first class?
Depends on how much money you have.
All right.
All right, good answer. Now let's get to story number 2. Kitty, lead us off that he was the first guest on To Tell the Truth.
What's the capital of West Virginia?
Charleston.
Timothy.
What year were you on the show, sir?
It's been a long time, but I believe it was 1956.
Dana.
Who are the other panelists on the show?
Kitty Carlisle was there. Can't remember the others.
How gallant. Orson.
They weren't worth remembering anyway. Now, you don't look old enough to have been governor in '56. Can I ask you how old you are?
How old I am now?
Yeah.
68.
All right,
look
Cindy,
great.
you've heard the cross-examination. It's up to you if you want to win the $500 to figure out whether Mr. Underwood is the Flying Gourmet or was he the first guest on To Tell the Truth. What do you say?
He definitely sounds like a politician. I think he was the governor.
Sounds like a politician. All right, Mr. Underwood, what's your true story?
To tell the truth, I was the first guest on To Tell the Truth.
And he was also governor of West Virginia, so congratulations to you, Cindy. That's $500 coming your way. Mr. Underwood, Orson asked a very interesting question. How old were you when you were governor of West Virginia?
I was elected the day after I was 34.
So you would have been one of the youngest governors in the history of that state?
Yes, I was the youngest in the history of the state and still am.
You still are. Well, it was a delight having you here on the program to renew old acquaintances with Kitty Carlisle. You get to chat during this commercial break. We'll pause now and we'll come back right after this. Coming up, the rules, explaining how you could get a dinner date with one of your favorite soap opera stars. We'll see you all tomorrow. So long.
Honey, who's that actress we saw in that movie? You know. She's dating that guy. What's his name? You know, from that show. You know, the guy with the thing. No, it's the other actress, Mom. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. We watched it together.
If you're good with names...
Who is this raven-haired actress?
Winona Ryder?
That is right.
We've got your game. Starface, hosted by Danny Bonaducci, premieres August 1st at 9:30, 8:30 Central on GSN.
I got it. It's